When the body of 16-year-old Jchandra Brown was found deep in the woods of Payson Canyon, Utah, authorities thought they were investigating a suicide, but they soon discovered there's a lot more to the story. David Begnaud reports for 48 Hours.
It's been 2 years since Utah County Sheriff's detectives Quinn Fackrell and Josh Chappell have been up into these remote foothills. But it's important to show you just how far Jchandra Brown went on May 5th, 2017, to leave her life behind.
It was about right here where the rope was hanging off of the tree.
There was 2 grocery bags just right over here.
Inside the bags, detectives found a note and a cell phone.
And that's the note.
Can you read it?
It says, "My name's Jchandra Brown and I hated my life. Watch the video, it's on my phone."
This is a 10-minute video of Jchandra dying.
I was shocked, absolutely shocked, for the fact that somebody could sit by and let somebody lose their life and not do anything.
Also in the bag, a receipt with a name on it, Tyrell Probitchen.
When we saw that receipt, we knew that we needed to contact Tyrell.
Well, as it turned out, Tyrell found them first.
I noticed an individual walking towards our location that's wearing a bright orange shirt. And he tells me, he goes, "I think you want to talk to me. I need to tell you the whole story."
Detectives questioned Tyrell for 5 hours.
She kept saying, "I want to die, I want to die, kill me, kill me." So eventually I said, "Okay, I'll make it happen for you."
They learned he not only bought Jchandra the rope, he also recorded that video.
So, at any time, did you try to talk her out of this? I didn't try to talk her out. I just said, "That's what you want to do. This is what you want."
Jchandra was my world. She was my life. When Jchandra died, my heart shattered.
Sue Bryan is Jcandra's mother.
Before Jchandra died, had you ever heard of Tyrell Probitchen?
No.
Not from her or anybody else?
Nope.
Detectives later discovered a text that Tyrell sent to a friend.
Another detective sends me a text from an acquaintance of Tyrell's. "What would you do if you had a friend that wanted to kill themselves?" This friend said, "I would talk them out of it." And he responds back, "I would help them do it. It's like getting away with murder."
Are you then thinking that he's a suspect in a crime?
Yeah.
What's the crime?
Well, possibly murder.
So David Begnaud is here with me. This is such a fascinating and heartbreaking story, David. The first question I guess I have is, why are they thinking about this as a murder and perhaps not an assisted suicide?
So initially you should know that when it all started, the detectives called the prosecutor who was at a baseball game and said, "I don't really see anything in it. Sounds pretty clear cut to me. It's a suicide." Until those text messages came about. And then they started the process of doing something that had never been done in the state of Utah, trying to prove that in fact, assisted suicide was tantamount to murder. That's what the prosecutors wanted initially. And then you'll see as the hour goes on what ended up happening. But again, this is a guy who comes walking up a hill and tells a police officer, "I know something that you may want to know. You might want to talk to me." And it changed the case.
So it's interesting, you were talking to Jcandra's mom, and she had never heard of Tyrell. But we know that young people will have a wide circle of friends that their parents don't know about. How long had they known each other?
Very shortly, like less than 4 months, I think.
Wow.
She had just come from Idaho where she was living, started in a new school, got some new friends, and met Tyrell. There was no romantic involvement. They were friends sort of loosely, but both of them had been talking about suicide. And again, the prosecutor says, without Tyrell, they don't believe Jcandra's dead.
So again, I know that we're probably going to learn a lot of this in your story on 48 Hours, but given that the mom didn't know who Tyrell was, did she know that perhaps Jchandra was contemplating suicide or was upset or depressed or?
She knew that Jchandra had thoughts of depression. Jchandra had seen a psychologist. Jchandra had taken medication in the past, but there were multiple signs throughout the course of Jcandra's life leading up to her death that officials missed, right? There were a lot of things that fell through the crack. And I think one thing you're going to notice in the hour is this is not just an hour about tragedy and a new law that came about because of it. But there's a public service aspect to it, and the psychiatrist you're going to see who's going to talk to parents about noticing that in their child, which may be depression, right? What to notice, and more importantly, what to do.
All right, that's really important because you did speak to child psychiatrists about teen depression. That's going to be an important message in the piece. David Begnaud, thank you very much for your reporting. You can watch the full 48 hours of Death in Payson Canyon tomorrow night at 10, 9 Central, only on CBS.